Prabhu.
Mataji, your video is off, turned off. Can you please turn it on?
Okay, I enter the computer. I use the computer,
Yeah.
but it seems it's not working here. Wait. Yesterday I tried it. I was able to enter with Mataji's class. What could be wrong? Mm.
The other thing you can please turn on your video, then we can probably.
Okay. So I will get out from the phone and then I'll go to the computer. I mean, can you see my when I join the computer?
Yeah, you are joined in the Zoom already, Mataji, but your video is turned off. Please turn on your video, then.
Okay. Okay, sure. Okay.
Yeah, so all good now.
Okay, it means I'll just use the phone. You mean?
So
Okay, okay.
at the moment, are you using your laptop or?
I'm still using my phone right now.
That's fine then. So everything is all right.
Okay, okay. Let me see. That's okay. Okay, then you just then I will read a verse from the phone, you mean?
Or if you like, in that case, I can share on the screen itself. So is it be good for you?
Yeah, that's right. Just share on the
Okay,
screen,
okay, you can do
please.
that,
Thank you
Mataji.
so much. Okay, so we will start with Prabhupada Lilamrita, right?
But Mataji, we normally start by singing Joy Radha Madhava first.
Okay, okay. Right. Okay, so will I lead Jaya Radha Madhava?
You can start right now, Mataji, if you are
Okay.
ready.
Srila Prabhupada ki Guru Maharaj ki Jai. Vanchakapa Tarvisha Kripa Sindhu Evacha Patitanam Pavanevyo Vaishnavevyo Namo Namo. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Chanavalabha Girivaradhari. Jaya Gopi Chanavalabha Girivaradhari. Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana. Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana. Yamunatira Vanachari. Yamunatira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Shri Mate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Sunyavadi Paschacharishatarine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Sunyavari Paschachadishatarine Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Shari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Shari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Gurudev Jaya Jaya Gurudev Jaya Gurudev Jaya Jaya Gurudev Jai Shri Prabhupada ki Hare Krishna. So you will share, Prabhu, the Lilamrita? Is that
Yes,
right?
Mataji, I'm doing it.
Oh, okay. Sorry, Prabhu, it's been a long time I didn't do the Zoom.
It's all right. You can start, Mataji. It is Prabhupada Lilamrita, Volume 2, Chapter 44. And the heading of the chapter is Let There Be a Temple. And you start from where it was ended yesterday.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Can you see the
Okay.
screen, Mataji?
It's quite hard for me to read. Can you please read it, Prabhu? I cannot read it from here. It's too small.
Okay, I'm doing
Yeah,
it then in
please
that
read it,
case.
Prabhu. Thank you.
Okay. Prabhupada thought that perhaps the governor would agree to help the devotees, at least in such matters as getting government permission for steel and cement. Therefore, despite his failing health, he insisted that the devotees hold a reception in the courtyard and he would personally go out and greet the governor. Lying on his back and speaking in faint voice, he ordered a feast to be cooked and tables and chairs to be arranged in the courtyard. The devotees pleaded with Prabhupada to allow them to do everything themselves and tell the governor that Prabhupada was very ill. He has come, Prabhupada said, I have to go out and meet him. Srutakirti dressed Prabhupada in a fresh silk dhoti. Prabhupada tried to apply the Vaishnava tilaks to his forehead, and even that was a struggle and took more than 5 minutes. When they were ready to go, Prabhupada asked his servant, Have I put on my tilak? He seemed almost delirious from the fever and was unable to stand. Srutakirti and others carried him in a chair and placed him in the middle of courtyard, where they had arranged several tables with prasadam and Prabhupada's books. Just before the governor's arrival, many policemen and soldiers arrived, roping off the area, directing traffic in front of the temple, and holding people outside until governor arrived. Gunanavo had rolled a long red carpet from the edge of the property into the court in the temple courtyard, and devotees lined both sides of the carpet, chanting with korotalas and mridangas. When the governor arrived, Shuruvi presented him with a garland, immediately removing the garland. The governor walked out the red carpet into the courtyard. Prabhupada stood. Hare Krishna Mataji, I'm stopping here, sorry.
Okay, thank you so much, Prabhu. And then I just
Do you
want
want me
to.
to share the verse screen as well?
I have my a screen on, I mean, the text here. You can share it with everybody. But before that, I would like to play a, yeah, it's supposed to be share screen, but I'll just, it's about Prabhupada, the Lover of the Lord song, just for us to meditate on Prabhupada's glories. It's by Mangalananda Prabhu. So you can just hear it by the audio, right? I'll just play it from my phone. It's just around 3 minutes. Is that okay, Prabhu?
Okay, that's fine. Mataji.
Okay. Yeah, if you know the song, just you can just sing along. He's a kind and gentle soul. His heart is never cold. So peaceful and poetic, with a message true and bold. He's never seeking praise. So silent and so grave. And his transcendental love is the magic in his ways. And when I see his love, I know I've got a long, long way to go. And will I taste the love that he's feeling inside? He's always meek and mild, with a warm and friendly smile. So simple in his living, singing all the while. He sings out Krishna's name, his glory and his fame, to serve his Lord and Master, in pleasure or in pain. And when I see his love, I know I got a long, long way to go. And will I taste the love that he's feeling inside? When I see his love, I got a long, long way to go. And will I taste the love that he's feeling inside? You'll find no lust and greed in a heart that's pure and free. He's a lover of the Lord, and his life is ecstasy. He only dies to live, and living tries to give the happiness that's found in the sound of Krishna's name. And when I see his love, I know I got a long, long way to go. When will I taste the love that he is feeling inside? Srila Prabhupada ki Jai, Hare Krishna. So that's a beautiful song for us to meditate about Prabhupada. The title is Lover of the Lord. You can find it on YouTube. And the video is so nice to look at Prabhupada. It could be a daily meditation. So we'll start with a Bhagavatam verse, which is Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 6, Chapter 2, verse 20. Okay, Shishuka Uvacha. Excuse me, Prabhu, do the devotees follow or I just read it? Oh, sorry.
When you read and the devotees follow up and recites after that, when you give the
Okay,
chance
okay.
to the when you give them the chance to read.
Okay, okay. Okay. Shishuka Uvacha. Ta evam suvinirniya. Dharmam Bhagavatam Ripa. Tam yamya pashanirmucha. Vipramityur amumuchan. Okay, anyone wants to recite, please?
Hare Krishna Mataji, I'm reading it.
Ah, yeah, please. Yeah.
Sri Shuka Uvacha
Shisuko.
Taevam Shubinirniya Dharmam Bhagavatam Nripa Tam Yamya Pashan Nirmucha Vipram Mrittur Omumucham.
Okay.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavad
Hare
Hare
Pranam.
Krishna
Krishna
Mataji,
Prabhu.
Dandavat Pranam.
Yes, Mataji, please recite.
श्रीशुको उवाच त एवं सुविनिर्णीय धर्मं भागवतं नृप तं याम पाशान्निर्मुच्य विप्रमृत्योरमुमुचन्. Hare Krishna
Thank you,
Mataji.
Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. I am also trying.
Hare Krishna.
Shri Shuka Uvacha Taeva Subinirniya Dharmang Bhagavatam Nripa Tam Jammo Pashanirmucha Vipram Mittar Mumuchana. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji Dandavat Pranam. May I try,
Jai.
please?
Hare Krishna. Please.
Shri Sukhavacha Tvayevam Suvinirniya Dharmam Bhagavatam Nripa Tam Yamya Pashan Nirmuchya Vipram Mrityur Amomuchan. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna
Krishna.
Mataji.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna. Can I try?
Yeah, please.
Shri Shuk Uvacha Ta Evam Suvi
Nirniya. It's lost.
Vipram Mrityoramumuchana.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll proceed. Synonyms: Sri Sukha Uvacha. Shishikadev Goswami said, they, the order carriers of Lord Vishnu. Evam, thus. Suviraniya, perfectly ascertaining. Dharmam, real religion. Bhagavatam, in terms of devotional service. Nripa, O king. Tam, him, Ajamil. Yamya, Pashad, from the bondage of the from the order carriers of Yamaraj. Nirmucha, releasing. Vipram, the Brahmana. Mrityuho, from death. Amumuchan, rescued. Translation and purport by, translation, and then we go to the next verse, right? Shri Shukadev Goswami continued, My dear king, having thus perfectly judged the principles of devotional service with the reasoning and arguments, the order carriers of Lord Vishnu released the Brahmana Ajamil from the bondage of the Yamadutas and saved him from imminent death. Then we go to text 21. Iti pratyurita yamya duta yatva yamantikam yamaragye yata sarvam achachakshur arindama. Translation. My dear Maharaj Parikshit, O subduer of all enemies, after the servants of Yamaraj had been answered by the order carriers of Lord Vishnu, they went to Yamaraj and explained to him everything that had happened. Purport. In this verse, the word pratyuditaha is very significant. The servants of Yamaraj are so powerful that they can never be hindered anywhere. But this time they were baffled and disappointed in their attempt to take away a man they considered sinful. Therefore, they immediately returned to Yamaraj and described to him everything that had happened. The next verse, text 22. Dvijad pashad vinirmukto gata bihi prakritim gataha vavande shirasa vishno vinkaran darsanotsavaha. Translation. Having been released from the nooses of Yamaraja's servants, the Brahmana Ajamil, now free from fear, came to his senses and immediately offered obeisances to the Vishnudutas by bowing his head at their lotus feet. He was extremely pleased by their presence, for he had seen them save his life from the hands of the servants of Yamaraj. Srila Prabhupada's purport. Vaishnavas are also Vishnudutas. because they carry out the orders of Krishna. Lord Krishna is very eager for all the conditioned souls rotting in this material world to surrender to him and be saved from material pangs in this life and punishment in hellish conditions after death. A Vaishnava therefore tries to bring conditioned souls to their senses. Those who are fortunate, like Ajamil, are saved by the Vishnudutas or Vaishnavas, and thus they return back home, back to Godhead. Om Ganatimarandasya Ganangana Salakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Soyam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vanchakalpa Tarubhyasya Kripa Sindhuvya Evacha Paditanam Pavanevyo Vaishnavevyo Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. Yeah, thank you very much for the invitation to facilitate Srimad Bhagavatam today. Tulsi Sevya Mataji, especially, she encouraged me to come and attend the Bhagavatam. So thank you so much, Mataji, and to all the devotees. So with your blessing, we will just actually repeat what Srila Prabhupada has given us, maybe in our own words, and then we also share our realizations. So we've been hearing from this canto about Ajamil, and his story is very, very popular, very famous story. Ajamil is very famous. And why he is famous? Because, of course, Prabhupada always, tells the story of Ajamil. And because most of us, I mean, Ajamil is not an ordinary person, but many souls in Kali Yuga are very fallen, and sometimes in the lifetime of Ajamil, that part where Ajamil became very sinful, like totally forgetting Krishna, then we can like identify with Ajamil. But we know for a fact that Ajamil was already a pure devotee, and then he fell down, and then he kind of forgot Krishna even until he was old. And then after that, he was just like absorbed in his family life. But then still he named his youngest child Narayan. So in that way, he was actually, although externally he was having this forgetfulness of Krishna, but we can understand that deep within his heart, he was still treasuring Krishna by the fact that he gave the name Narayana to his youngest child. So in the story of Ajamil, we can reflect that, sometimes in our lives, we especially in the beginning of devotional service, we are so enthusiastic. In the other class, I heard that in the beginning, in the beginning of initiation, I mean, initiation is beginning. In the beginning of our life in Bhakti Yoga, we tend to be very enthusiastic. We are so positive like that. And then as we go along, the honeymoon part of that is kind of lost, and we tend to see the negativities, the faults, our own fault and the faults of the devotees. And that could be a very challenging part in our life. So then that's why the acharyas are always reminding us to keep on hearing and chanting and associating with the devotees. So remember the beautiful verse, Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Sastrikhoy, Lavamatra Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Siddhihoy. That even a Lavamatra, an 11th part of a second of association of a devotee, that very, very minute association with a pure devotee can bring perfection to human life. So that's what Srila Prabhupada had done. Now, I was just reflecting this morning that why should a devotee come, personally, physically come to us? If they can just write books, or nowadays we have internet, they can just, do Zoom or write a lot of books and do a lot of social media to reach us. But still the devotees come physically, They they give us their association with a concrete personality with a body like that. Just like what Prabhupada did. He was supposed to be in Vrindavan, and he was supposed to be already absorbed there. And he could just pray for all the living beings, humans, animals, and plants, to be liberated. And of course, Krishna will do that because a pure devotee's prayer is very powerful. But then still, Prabhupada followed the order of his spiritual master to go to the West and to plant the seeds of bhakti and let it grow and and then we harvest the planting of those seeds. Right now we are enjoying Sadhu Sangha, we're enjoying Prashadam, we're enjoying Haridam Sankirtan, book distribution, all of these activities. If Prabhupada didn't establish all of these activities, then what would have we been doing? What could be the activities that we could be doing? So we could be lost, isn't it? Like the sadhana bhakti, all these routines of spiritual life, sometimes it can be dry. But then when you're out of that, when sometimes in your life you go to a place where there is no sadhu sangha, when there is no prashadam, where there is no harinam sankirtan, then we are able to appreciate that, wow, that was beautiful, and I want to go back to that. I want to go back to that sadhu sangha. So uh, just like, for example, when my family had to go to Taupo, and then so there was no temple, so we were forced to create our own little temple in the house and to do a little bit of preaching. But still, your heart is longing to go back to that wellspring, to that wellspring of sadhu sangha, where you can just relish how the devotees are actually loving Krishna, because our heart is still a desert. It doesn't. I mean, I'm speaking on behalf of myself that there's still no love there, and I don't even know Krishna yet. So I'm just actually following the devotees' example. So in sadhu sangha, we see that everything is there. So the key is sadhu sangha. And the acharyas are saying that there are so many things to know, but then there is this one verse that Lord Chaitanya has given us to wear around our neck. And we know that verse, which is Trinadapi, Sanichena, Tarapi Saishnana, Amanina Manadena, Kirtanya Sadhari. So that the mood of the devotee is that they're always humble, they're always tolerant, and they're always very patient. Like a tree which is very tolerant, and a blade of grass, they're very humble. And so we wonder why humility and why tolerance and patience are very important. Then we can reflect that even in material life, isn't it? Like if you want to achieve something in the material world, example, you want to be successful as a student, or you want to be successful in your profession, then you really have to be very patient. You have to be very humble, because there's always an authority that will tell us what to do. And so similarly in our spiritual career, like in bhakti, we are also supposed to actually follow our authorities. And we understand our authorities are guru, sadhu, and sastra. So by coming to Srimad Bhagavatam, it is very important for us to maintain that, to maintain the honeymoon, of our practice. Because sometimes I reflect that all these books of Prabhupada and all the books that the Vedas, which talk about Krishna, all of these books are like love letters from Krishna, isn't it? Like, okay, Krishna had to leave the material world, and then he created something that is very dramatic, the Mahabharata, in order to put the philosophy there for 48 minutes in the middle of the battlefield. So that's very amazing how Krishna creatively dramatized, so that people in Kali Yuga like us will be attracted to hear and to watch, Like, for example, Mahabharata is very dramatic and very enticing to see, because it's about a love story. It's about a mother's love for his children. Mother Kunti's love. And it's all about taking shelter in Krishna, and how to live in this world, and how to utilize what we have for the greater glory of Krishna. So going back to the story of Ajamil, then we understand that yes, we can be lost sometimes in our own conditioning in this material world, in our body and in our minds, but we should never be discouraged, because Krishna already dramatized it, isn't it? Like he already put everything in order, so that even if we feel so fallen, even if we feel so lost, that there's always hope. And in Kali Yuga, that is the chanting of the holy name. So we've been hearing a lot of very powerful verses, especially yesterday, Mataji. Uh, that was so beautiful that you shared with us all those beautiful verses that really give us that hope that, simply by chanting the holy name, even if we are not so attentive, and what to speak if we are attentive, right? Then that really attracts Krishna, that one day all our desires that are pure will be fulfilled, like that. Um, so I would like to, in the purport of Srila Prabhupada, Prabhupada says here, a Vaishnava therefore tries to bring conditioned souls to their senses. So those who are fortunate like Ajamil are saved by the Vishnudutas or Vaishnavas, and thus they return back home, back to Godhead. So if we actually want to be a Vaishnava, it is, we should develop that mood, no? The mood of trying to bring others to Krishna. And then we notice that when we do that, when we become compassionate to others, when we bring others, we invite others to the temple, when we talk to them about Krishna in a very casual way, it doesn't have to be very serious. When they see the devotees chanting in Queen Street, for example, or in Henderson or Newlyn, simply by seeing the devotees, even though people don't understand, but we know that they are already on their way back to Krishna. So we don't have to do anything. We just simply join the Harinam Sankirtan and dance there. And by dancing, then, other people will get attracted in time, like that. And also one of in the first verse, it is said there that the devotees reason out, no, they use their intelligence to explain about the glories of Krishna, and therefore hearing the Srimad Bhagavatam, hearing with the devotees, is a very powerful practice. Sometimes we want to read on our own, we want to just do our sadhana on our own, but then sometimes it becomes lonely, isn't it? Like if you do only by yourself. Although we need that sometimes, but most of the time it's better if we actually chant with the devotees, we read with the devotees, we study with the devotees. And the more we do that, the more we are actually inspired. And if there is something like we feel alone or bored or dry about our sadhana, it must be because we become so how do you call it, like, oh, just me and Krishna, like that. And Lord Chaitanya didn't actually teach that oh, only you and Krishna. Of course there is that exclusiveness, but in Kali Yuga, which is a very disturbed age, we are always bombarded, no, with so many distractions, especially with the internet. And therefore the only way to do that is to get out, no, get out of the house, practically get out of the screen, go to temple or go to Harinam and just, exercise the body. That's a secondary benefit. You can also exercise, and by dancing and by going to the temple, we walk our legs and we strengthen our arms and joints like that. And also, one thing that is also very important in our practice is bowing down. I noticed that as we grow older, like our body is growing older, obviously, uh, we tend to forget that we are in the body. Of course, we say, "Oh, I'm not the body. Therefore, it doesn't really matter." But actually, that's not a fact, right? We know that the body is actually Krishna's temple because Krishna is within our heart. Sarvashachaham Ridisani Visto Mata Smitirganam Apohanam Cha. So that verse from Bhagavad Gita, which is very famous, 15.15, reminds us that Krishna is in the heart of every living entity. So therefore, if Krishna is within the heart, so that means this body is actually Krishna's temple. And therefore, we actually have to take care of this body with our diet, with enough sleep, with enough activity, movement. The body should be exercised in that way. And the best exercise is actually dancing in Harinam Sankirtan. Of course, other forms of exercise are also helpful, but we can have a comparative experience when you go to the gym. If you go to the gym and if you go to Harinam Sankirtan, you try to compare that experience. And we notice that dancing in Harinam Sankirtan is far, 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 like tidal waves of difference when in comparison to other forms of exercises. So, yes, and there is another devotee who who's also very famous, and his name is Bilva Mangala Thakur. So yesterday, Mataji was sharing the song Govinda Damodara Madhaveti. Yeah, I actually supposed to share with you that song, and then we will kind of share it, sing that song a little bit together. But because I wasn't able to enter the computer here, so I just want to share again that Bilva Mangala Thakur's life was very, very similar to, not exactly the same, but similar to uh, Ajamil. So I remember Ajamil, Bilva Mangala Thakur was a pure devotee, born as a pure devotee of a rich family. But it is said that before that life, he was actually cursed. He was cursed by a goddess because of a jewel that he kind of took to offer to Krishna. So he was so Krishna conscious, but then he took a jewel from a goddess, from a deity, and the goddess was so angry that he cursed Bilva Mangala Thakur to take birth as Bilva Mangala Thakur. Yeah, he will be Krishna conscious, but at one point in his life, he will fall. He will be surrounded with so much opulence, and then he will become so attached to the to women like that, and especially to a woman. But that same woman, which is going to be Chintamani, will also be his bondage, but at the same time will be his liberation. So then we know that Bilva Mangala Thakur fell, and his falling was very wild. Remember that story? He went to Chintamani in a very, very stormy day. Night. It was a night. It was stormy, and he was like swimming in through the river, and he was trying to get hold of something for him to get through. And he was embracing something he thought was a log, but it was actually a dead body. And then he was kind of climbing the wall of, and then when he was climbing, he thought it was a rope, but it was actually a snake. And then when he arrived, Chintamani was waiting, but at the same time, she said, if you have this determination to see me, then you're in this determination. If you use it for Krishna, to see Krishna, then you'll already perfect your life like that. And to make a long story short, we know that he got attached to another girl, and then he asked for the hairpin. Remember that? And then he took his own eyes. He blinded himself. But of course, we don't imitate that because we are not Bilva Mangala Thakur. But the way to blind ourselves from material distractions is to simply become attached to sadhu sangha, become attached to hearing about Krishna. In that way, our eyes may be seeing, but it's not already attached. It already has a discrimination of that's Krishna's energy, but that's not directly Krishna like that. So, but at the same time, because of that endeavor, because of that effort, Krishna Guru and Krishna and the devotees become so pleased that they give us a blessing, the strength to be able to practice our sadhana bhakti, our association. And we understand that if we do it this properly, if we do the association of devotees properly, then we got this beautiful emotion or beautiful thoughts. We no longer dwell on what did the devotee tell me, or why did the devotee, feel angry to me, or why am I upset to this devotee, like that. So because sometimes in the association of devotees, because we are not yet pure devotees, we can, we can like have conflict with each other, and that conflict can lead to sometimes you don't like to come to temple because we are in conflict with a devotee. But if we learn to transcend that, because these are just conditionings, isn't it? If we learn to transcend, then in that way we are able to penetrate into the hearts of the devotees, into the hearts of every living being, even outside. And then especially to Krishna, that Krishna will be happy for the services that we are doing. So I think that's what I can share. And I hope that makes sense with your blessing. Thank you so much. And please share your realizations, or if you want to make comments or ask questions. Thank you, Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Yes, Prabhu, I'm done.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you very much for your very nice class, and particularly on this purport, explaining the importance of devotee association. In fact, the association of devotees, particularly the Krishna, who are the Vaishnavas in particular, is very important in the life of a devotee. Because when we associate with the devotees or the Vaishnavas who are very dear to the Krishna, we really associate with the Krishna himself. Because because the devotees discuss always among themselves about the glories of the Krishna, Krishna's name, qualities, pastimes, and all these are being discussed. And in this way, we participate in the pastimes of Krishna when we are deeply associated with that. And in this way, we can increase our eternal attachment to Krishna, which we have forgotten in this material world. But it is our internal swarup, this is our real identity. And when we remain in association with devotees, they ignite within us. That is within us. The Krishna is within our heart. As we have quoted the verse 15:15, Sarvasya chaham hridhi sannivishto. So Krishna being situated in our heart, but because of our material contamination, we are not realizing it. As Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is told, we have to cleanse our heart, as Chaitodharpanamarjanam. So in this way, when we remain in associate with the devotees, by their association, our love for Krishna is ignited once more. And in this way, we can associate with Krishna and make our life successful as a devotee. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhu. That's really wonderful. Yes, you have mentioned about Chetu Darpana Marjanam. Yeah, that's right. So the heart is compared like a mirror, right? So then when we chant the whole name, the dust of that mirror will be cleansed, and then we see ourselves more clearly, that we are supposed to be Gopi, Bhartu, Padakamalayur, that we are servant of the servants of the gopis, and that we are not Brahmanas, we are not Kshatriyas, Shudras, or whatever, but we are eternal servants of Krishna. So that's really wonderful. Yes, thank you so much, Prabhu.
Hare
Are
Krishna
you ready?
Mataji.
Yes, please,
Hare Krishna.
Mataji.
I have one question. As we enjoy the best devotee association, but at
Mhm.
times we associate with non-devotees, willingly or not willingly. So, is that okay to associate sometimes with non-devotees? Um, what are your views?
Okay. um, in the absolute sense, everybody is actually a devotee, right? Srimati Radharani sees everybody better than herself. And it is said that Srimati Radharani is the embodiment of humility of Trinada Pisunachina, Tara. So, but then we are not in that level of Srimati Radharani or Prabhupada or Krishna. So, from Uttama, remember that stages of devotional uh, qualification, from Uttama to Madhyam, then we have to go back to Madhyam, which means that we have to learn the difference between that association and this association. So yes, it's okay to associate. Uh, First, we have to understand the meaning of associate. Whether you give the association or you take the association, isn't it, Mataji? So if you associate with non-devotee, which means they are not practicing Krishna consciousness, isn't it? Uh, we actually give them association, because remember that verse, Lava Matra Sadhu Sanghe. So you are a devotee, and therefore, if you give your association with them, you know you're a Hare Krishna. And I'm sure you will maybe bring some prasad for them and say Hare Krishna to them, Hare Krishna like that, and they will say Hare
Yes,
Krishna.
yes, I
Isn't it?
do. Yes, I
Yeah.
do.
Yeah. So
I always take, something to share, which I have offered to deities. So I do
um,
that.
perfect, perfect. Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, there is a verse in Bhagavatam which is very beautiful. I hope I can remember. It says, "Tulayama lavinapi, uh, nasorgam na punarbhavam, Bhagavat Sangi Sangar, Bhagavat Sangi Sangasya, Martyanam Kim Utashisha." Sometimes I mix up the verses, but that
It's okay.
verse, yeah, that verse is in canto, in first canto, and it says that uh, a moment association of a devotee cannot be compared for one to have the enjoyment of the heavenly planet like that, and what to speak of worldly opulence. So that means
Mm.
your association is liberating them. So do not underestimate that. Oh, they are non-devotees and I'm a devotee. I should not associate. But our purpose of actually going out and just being part of their life, being a friend who is bringing some prashadam like that, is actually like a DPA. You don't know what's a DPA? Like a deep penetrating agent. That you just go there very
Ah.
simple. Yeah, in remember sometimes maybe you watch some movies like here is the actor who will come to the prison house, but that
Yeah.
actor actually is not a prisoner. No, he is actually a DPA, a deep penetrating agent to kill, to liberate someone from the prison cell. Like that, he become one of them. No, he becomes the DPA, the deep
Mm.
penetrating
Mm.
agent, becomes actually one of them. Yeah, so sometimes in our devotional service, we kind of come to a point where we feel that I'm a devotee, but I'm not a devotee because I do this, I do that. I have so many conditionings. But then, for example, a devotee who's so attached to exercise and he goes to the gym, right? And then it just happens that, oh, he talks to someone and this someone was depressed, and then he says, okay, why won't you try come to the temple, something like that. And by Krishna's mercy, we are being utilized to be able to bridge the gap between the fallen jivas, and because we are like in between, we are still not very pure. I mean, you must be very
Mm.
pure, Mataji. But what I'm trying to say is that, like, because we are crossing, we are crossing from being conditioned to becoming pure one day. That in that crossing, we meet a lot of people because it's part of our conditioning. We cannot just sit for 24 hours and chant Hare Krishna, right? We cannot just be in the
Mm.
temple for 24 hours a day and worship the deities. Or we cannot just chant dancing in Harinam Sankirtan for 24 hours. According to our official, our physiological need, we need to move, we need to meet people like that. So we better use these inclinations to bring some prasadam, books or whatever, or invite people to come to the temple. And so that association is perfect, Mataji, that you're giving them. So we just have to be careful that we are not taking, no? That
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, we visit and then and then we see the fault, and we should also be careful that our behavior will not say, speak of something negative. So thank you so much, Mataji. That reminds us that we should associate properly inside and outside. Thank you.
So I will remember not taking, giving. Thank you.
Yes, yes, giving. That's what
Hare
Prabhupada said, right?
Krishna.
Yeah, Prabhupada
Yes.
said he went to America not to take, but to give Krishna.
So I just feel I'm doing one good thing, but I didn't know it is must. I'm taking always prasadam, kind of which I have offered. I take that. So I do
Yes,
one
yes.
good thing. Thank you, Mataji.
Yeah,
Thank
perfect.
you.
That's perfect, Mataji. Please continue doing that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Yeah, so what's the time now? 8:21. Anyone else who would like to share their realizations about?
Hare Krishna, I'm happy to see you on the screen.
Maria, Maria, thank you. Thank you for
From
the
you.
welcome.
Yeah, we have always have some nice approach and to deliver the knowledge to the heart. And and I've been reflecting during your conversation that we are here because I'm going through disciple course and I'm getting immersed into knowledge about Srila Prabhupada much more than I've been before. And that his mood was actually this mercy to deliver Krishna conscious to people. That's so his compassionate mood of bringing this to people. If we stop associating at all, it's like, as you properly, like you said, that if he would just stay at Vrindavan and just keep chanting and doing, he had everything, but he left all his so-called, I mean, not so-called, but he left his devotional comfort being at the holy town place, right? And he went to America to bring this to people who were not even close to knowing about God at all, not talking about Krishna or properly service or whatever. So, yeah, that's if we keep bringing this mood of compassion. And as Mataji said, yeah, just bring prasadam. Same for me. I'm bringing prasadam to my place of work because I'm conditioned at this life to go to work, right? So at least we can bring some prasadam and speak some nice words and just being that, as you said, bridge, right? And we've been recently talking with my husband, or not with my husband, I think we talked with my husband and kids, like how people associate with modern days. Mostly they associate within this four regulative principles, right? So it's over barbecue, frying meat, right? Or by drinking something or smoking at the smoke break, right? Or having some affairs, right? Or doing some, so most people, they don't even know how to associate properly other than outside of these things that we consider to be not allowed for us as the breach regulative principles. So if you can give some idea of how to even associate outside of that, it's also great, right?
That's right.
Not mentioning sharing and talking about Krishna, or even just talking about some life which is outside of these activities is also some, as I've heard recently, one of Goswamis, one Goswami said that he would love all people to become Buddhists first and then become Krishna conscious because we are only serving our ego, right? It's Bhaktivedanta Goswami recently told that his recommendation is to become a Buddhist, so at least you turn away from serving your senses gratifications, right? So turning away from you, it's like 90 degrees turn. And then 180 degrees when you turn to serving Krishna instead of serving yourself. So that's even if you distract people from serving their senses gratification for a minute is also a great, service to Srila Prabhupada movement and to Krishna. Thank you. That was my realization.
That's so beautiful. Yeah, because for us, a minute may be very small, a minute or lava matra, like 11 second, a second. It didn't even say a minute, like a second. So in the spiritual realm, a second can be very, very, valuable for Krishna, isn't it? That second of pure devotion, that second of really not wanting anything but except Krishna prema. I mean, we can just practice it. Like maybe in the beginning, it's like telling our mind that, oh, you just have to do that. Like you just have to be pure. But then, by Krishna's mercy and by the devotee's mercy, uh, then one day actually it happens, right? I mean, how can, like for example, if we look back, how can it be possible that I gave up meat eating when I was 23 years old? I mean, before that, I had to eat like because of my sinful reactions, right? So I was like, how did it happen? How could I give that up? Something like that. And then as you are in the devotees association, there are some, we have some attachments, we have some habits like that, and it seems that it doesn't go away. Oh, yeah, that, but if we become more conscious and okay, if I get rid of meat eating in something 19 something, then how could I get rid of this thing in order for me to advance? So there should be a conscious endeavor for advancement. It doesn't have to be external. The advancement can be very, very quiet. Yeah, like that. Mm. Is it okay if I conclude with some verses from Govinda Damodara Madhaveti? Because I was supposed to share this with you. Um, is that okay, Prabhu?
That's fine.
Yes,
Yes,
yeah.
there's still a couple of minutes here.
Yeah, 3 minutes. Okay. So it says here, the first verse is, before the assembled Kurus and Pandavas, when Dushashan caught her hair and clothing, Krishna, Draupadi, having no other lord, cried out, Govinda, Damodara, Madhava, Agre Kurunam Atha Pandavanam, Dushashanena Ritavastakesha, Krishna Tada Kroshadanam Yanatha, Govinda Damodara Madhaveti. Then verse 2, it says here, O Lord Krishna, Vishnu, enemy of the Madhu and Kaitaba demons, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, enemy of Mura, merciful upon the devotees, O Keshava, Lord of the worlds, Govinda, Damodara, Madhava, please deliver me. Shri Krishna Vishnu Madhukaita Bhare, Bhakta Nukampin Bhagavan Murare, Trayasyamam Keshava Lokanata, Govinda Damo Daramadaveti. Text 3. Though desiring to sell milk, dahi, butter, etc., the mind of a young gopi was so absorbed in the lotus feet of Krishna that instead of calling out milk for sale, she bewilderedly said, Govinda, Damodara, and Madhava. Vikretu kama kila gopakanya, murari padarpita chita vriti, dadyadikam mohavasad avochat, Govinda Damodara Madhaveti. Text 4. Their grinding mortars full of grains, the gopis' minds are overcome as they thresh with their pestles, singing, Govinda, Damodara, Madhava. Ulukale samvridatandulanscha, sangatayantyo mushalai pramugdha, gayanti gopyo janitanuraga, Govinda Damodara Madhaveti. Okay, last verse, the 5th verse. A lotus-eyed girl instructed the red-beaked pet parrot that was seated in the cup of her lotus hand. She said, Govinda, Damodara, Madhava. Kachit karambo japute nishanam, krida sukam kim sukaraktatundam, adyapayavasa saroruhakshi, Govinda Damodara Madhaveti. Shri Bilva Mangala Thakur ki, Srila Prabhupada ki.
Joy.
All glories to the assembled devotees. Thank you so much, Prabhus and Matajis. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha
कृपा
पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो
नमो
नमो
नमः
नमः।
अनंत
अनंत
कोटि
कोटि
वैष्णव
वैष्णव
वृंद
वृंद
की
की
जय।
जय।
जय
श्री
श्री
रत्नावली
रत्नावली
माता
माता
जी
जी
की
की
जय।
जय।
जय
श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय।
जय नंदे हरि
All
हरि
stations
हरि
leaders,
बोल
Hare
all
Krishna,
glory
Hare
God.
Vinayande, Hare Hare
Thank
Bol.
you very much, Mataji, and
Yeah,
nice
thank you so much, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
explain.
Thank you for your blessings. Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
Thank you very
Thank you,
much,
Mataji.
Mataji. Wonderful class. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.